because they also got beef that's happening between Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. And then also Texas is refusing to remove the razor wire. So I got to keep y'all up to date of what's going on in the entire country, not just what's happening in your local cities. Check out what's happening over in Chicago, y'all.
Governor Pritzker expressing concern over the city's latest plans to handle shrinking shelter space for newly arriving migrants.
WGN political reporter Taman Bradley here with more on that, plus what alderpersons are being told about what's next. Taman.
Micah and Ray, good evening. Mayor Johnson has not talked publicly about changes to his migrant plan, but we've learned he's sharing specifics with aldermen and other mayors. A tweak to Chicago's plan for migrants. In closed-door briefings, Mayor Brandon Johnson is informing officials that the city will no longer set up new shelter space. Sources say last Friday.
Hold on, let me stop for a second, because you know I'm an equal accountability partner, and I've been on Brandon Johnson's Mohawk head top for a long time. Let me take one moment, because I am so objective. I have to be objective across the board. Let me take one moment to give a round of applause to Mayor Mohawk for finally standing on business and saying we not setting up another migrant shelter inside of the city of Chicago. Mayor Mohawk says we not setting up another shelter inside of the city of Chicago. If you want it, then Illinois is a huge state. You're going to have to handle that on your own and align yourself with some other superintendent, supervisor, or treasurer, or mayor of another city that's outside of Chicago. But we not setting up not one more migrant shelter in the city of Chicago. And he said that directly towards Governor Pritzker. I know that Mayor Mohawk has been a pawn this whole time, but I'm just mad that him, supposedly as a man of God and a middle school teacher, ain't finally stepped up and said something a long time ago.
A group of city council members were told the city does not plan to add new shelter beds. As residents leave, new arrivals will fill the beds. This morning, Governor Pritzker slammed the plan.
I'm deeply concerned. We do not have enough shelter as it is in the city of Chicago. The city has not told the state where they would like us to put our resources to build new shelters, and
they don't want new shelters, Pritzker. They don't want new shelters, Pritzker. See, this is the real culprit right here. This is the real culprit right here. It's the one that's still eating good. He put on a couple more pounds since 2023. Had a New Year's resolution that he was going to slim down on Slim Fast, and ain't slim at all. Ain't slim at all. He was going to slim down on Slim Fast and ain't slim down at all with your slim ass. At all. Not even a little bit. This is the real culprit right here. Listen, if you're looking to figure out who's in bed with who, have y'all noticed, and again, it take me a little bit longer in order to really figure out what's going on here, guys, but bear with me. I am a lifetime C student. Have y'all noticed that all of the people that are arguing for and has been at the forefront of the movement as far as traveling back and forth for Washington, fighting for, signing different things to ask money from Biden over in Washington, has all only been mayors on a local level? They have all only been mayors on a local level. Somebody in the chat says, did he talk about the Chicago beef yet? Yes, the beef is between the governor and the mayor of Chicago. The governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago. Yet you have not seen one governor go to Washington, hold accountable, make a phone call, publicly denounce what is happening in a state to the major city, the biggest city in the state, not New York. Now, what I did see over in New York is that they made sure that they did the Adult Survivors Act. She made sure she was the face of that. Some of y'all don't even know who the governor of New York is, do y'all? The only person that you see is Adams. The only person you see as a representation of Illinois is Johnson. You don't see Pritzker. Most people didn't even know who Pritzker was that lived outside of Chicago. Most, not all, most. Most of y'all not even informed. Who the hell is the governor of Denver or the governor of Colorado? Let's see. I never even knew. We don't even know. Gov of Colorado. It ain't Deion Sanders, don't worry. Jared Polis. Do y'all know who Jared Polis is? Did y'all know that this person right here, Jiggy Jared from Subway, Jiggy Jared from Subway, I don't know if he's sassy or not, but the first picture that came up on my Googles when I pulled him up was something with some Rainbow Coalition on it. Did you know that Jiggy Jared was the governor of Colorado? I did not know that Jiggy Jared was the governor of Colorado. I didn't know. Did y'all know? Oh, okay. So now I'm starting to catch a little bit more. I didn't know that Jiggy Jared was married. Did y'all know that Jiggy Jared was married? I'm just now finding out according to NPR. Colorado Governor Jared Polis waves to the crowd accompanied by his partner, Marlon Reese, in 2019. The two were married Wednesday, marking the first time the same-sex marriage of a sitting governor. Are y'all seeing the play? Are y'all seeing the play? Okay. All right. So the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Woo-wee. The plot thickens. All right. All right. We learning. We learning. Listen, I may be slow, but I'm not stupid. I may be slow, but I'm not stupid. I'm learning as I figure it out. Okay. All right. We gonna get there.
The state where they would like us to put our resources to build new shelters, and we need to make sure that we're not ending shelter capacity, as the city is now planning to do, at the end of winter.
The Johnson administration plans to work with churches and private individuals to find housing for migrants. The goal is to place the migrants as soon as possible or send them back to the landing area. Alderman William Hall is among those briefed on the plan.
We don't know if airplanes are going to come in. We don't know if trains are going to come in. And so it's kind of hard to have such a robust...
Thank you, McCole. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. You are such a blessing to the platform, love.
housing plan, i.e. Building shelters, so forth and so on, temporary and or permanent, without knowing the exact total population from an unhinged governor in Texas who continues to see this as a political ploy with the lives of innocent people.
As of this morning, there were 14,308 new arrivals housed in 28 shelters, with 225 people awaiting placement. Complicating matters, buses from the southern border don't always make drop-offs in Chicago, so suburban mayors and city officials are trying to get on the same page.
We're concerned about who's coming. It's still a public safety issue, not only for the residents of the various communities, the city of Chicago, of course, but also the migrants themselves. And after all, they're leaving very warm climates, coming into very cold climates.
Shelter residents must move out within 60 days. Almost 8,000 60-day notices have been handed out. Move-outs, though, have been paused through February 1st. But Micah and Ray, it's anyone's guess what happens after that.
Listen. It is my belief, and through my research, I'm going to find out one way or another. Maybe I won't, I don't know. But it is my belief that the governors are more closely aligned with what's going on with the president leaving the borders open than anybody. Somebody know what's going on. I mean, in my opinion, for my generation, this is as big as Watergate. I mean, this is the biggest finesse of the American people in my lifetime. I know that we sat through 9/11 and a lot of us got a conspiracy theory with regard to that, but I can't substantiate it. And plus, the powers that be don't necessarily want me to talk about it. I know we got a lot of theories with regard to the pandemic. I had got a warning on this channel about talking about the pandemic, so I was very reluctant to even have that conversation. But I think that it's a bigger coup right now. I think that there's a huge coup at play, And I think that the cities is catching the brunt of what it is that the governor and ultimately the president of the United States is conspiring to do. I don't know. It's a theory. It's a theory. But everything in me, my spidey senses tingle every time I think about it. My spidey senses tingle every time I think about it. And when this theory is really put to the test, all signs point to the same thing: corruption. Corruption, ladies and gentlemen. My theory is that all of these mayors is just pawns for the bigger play, the much, much bigger play. But I know one thing: you're not welcome to Detroit. Let's see what's happening down there in Texas, ladies and gentlemen, because I need to understand what's going on with the only governor that seems to have some backbone, and that's and that's Abbott.
Now we go to the southern border where the governor of Texas refuses to give in to federal law. The Supreme Court says federal agents can remove razor wire that the Texas National Guard strung along the Rio Grande to try to deter illegal border crossings. But in the border city of Eagle Pass, the state is still keeping Border Patrol agents away from one of those crossing points. Omar Villafranca is there with more. Omar, good morning.
Good morning. We are here at Shelby Park right on the Rio Grande, and the park is surrounded by this razor wire as far as the eye can see. Also within my line of sight, Texas National Guard armed and on standby. Now, the feds say the state put up miles of the razor wire by the river, which can prevent them from getting to migrants in distress. Now, earlier this week, the Supreme Court ruled that Border Patrol agents could cut and remove that wire. But after the ruling, our cameras saw Texas guardsmen uncoiling and preparing more wire to lay out. Another issue is park access. Border Patrol says it doesn't have full access to the park where many migrants illegally cross. State troopers and Texas guardsmen have it closed.
Look at the migrants right there. They're literally trying to cross right in front. Now, I remember a time where I used to watch documentaries where border agents was like cowboys. I mean, they were real life cowboys. When they would catch you, man, the cartels and the coyotes and the people that was trying to get over here, they would make it, but not before they had to go through some Shout out to the churches and the daycares. They would sometimes get over here, but not before sometimes you gotta make it. You gonna have to over them. Because they was doing their job and they was out there rounding them up and they had to dodge them and they was hoping that they didn't come by and all of that on the old documentaries. Now, they over there coming through razor wire like they zombies. Have y'all ever seen any of them zombie movies where they go over there and they be they bringing their children through at the same time? They going through the razor wire, man. It's prisoners. It's prisoners that won't even touch razor wire. Do you know what razor wire feel like? It hurt. It hurt. They got their children going through the razor wire like an obstacle course. They taught. Go ahead, little Timmy. Go through the razor wire. They going through razor wire like an obstacle course out there in the dark. In the dark. Right in front of the guard. They not scared. They not scared. Catch me up in some razor wire and see what happened. Catch me up in some razor wire and see what happened. Ooh. They going through right there in front of the guard. Let's get through the razor wire. Let's go.
Closed to federal agents. Now, the Border Patrol says it needs full access to do its job. The Biden administration has ordered the state to allow Border Patrol agents into this area by Friday. But Governor Greg Abbott, he's in fact firing back at the Biden administration, saying the Biden administration is not enforcing immigration laws that are already on the books. And he says if the federal government won't do it, Texas will secure its border. Of course, this is far from over. Both parties will be in court next month.
Let me give a round of applause again. I always want to give praise where praise is due. I got to make sure that I acknowledge the greatest governor on the face of the earth, and that's Governor Greg Wiltshire. Greg, you are truly Professor X. I mean, you are the living embodiment of Professor. A lot of y'all are not even familiar with what Greg Abbott looks like. Let me bring you up to speed. Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott is literally Professor X. And Biden might just be Magneto. Have y'all ever seen Greg Abbott, Greg Wiltshire? I mean, the dude get by faster. He got mind control over people. Y'all ain't never seen Greg wheelchair? Greg be getting it. He get to it. He's no joke. He's no joke. He got strong upper body strength. He been rocking out. He been getting to it. He making sure that he do the things that's in the best interest of Texans across the United States of America. All of them, not just the ones that's in Texas. Shout out to Greg Abbott. The real life comic book character of Professor X going against Magneto. All right? I love you, Greg. I love you. I know that you in a wheelchair, but I don't think that that's the thing that holds you back. I think the thing that makes you stronger is the fact that the lower body might be taken away from a lot of these cognitive functions and the thinking ability of a lot of these people that can walk around every day. Real talk. Shout out to Governor Greg. I mess with you, Greg. I genuinely mess with you, big dog.